You are on the rant couch where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for somebody who asked to remain unnamed, who said, I want your opinion about this video I watched recently responding to your video about subversion. I found he not only mischaracterized your arguments, but also has never watched a shonen in his life, since he seems to think One Punch Man is a deconstruction because Saitama doesn't enjoy these one-punch fights, which makes no sense because that's literally what Bleach is all about. What are your thoughts? You know what's funny? I didn't even realize that you said this is what Bleach is all about. When I was watching the video, I was just like, what about Bleach? Like, Bleach, one of the biggest shonens of all time. The main character is depressed. He feels out of place. He does not enjoy fighting. He gets nothing out of it. He's just fighting to defend people and to do what's right, even though he doesn't want to. Literally the same thing. So, you know, what this video is called is How One Punch Man Explores Depression. So it's kind of a weird video in that it's making multiple points at the same time. It simultaneously is trying to say that, you know, my argument that One Punch Man is not a deconstruction because of the fact that it, you know, the one punch trope has appeared in shonen before, is not valid, or it's not valid to say that it's not a deconstruction just for that reason. It is a deconstruction because it explores depression, and then he goes on to justify why he thinks the show explores depression. I think all the stuff about why the show explores depression is fair. I don't think any of that is really contestable, but the idea that that is unique and that is subversive is absolutely not the case. And that was the point of my video, is that people are constantly making assumptions about shonen history on the basis of just not knowing shit. You know, just not having seen enough shows, making broad assumptions about all of shonen based on the few things they've consumed, as compared to, you know, these things that they want to hold up as deconstructive. But, like, yeah, again, Bleach, perfect example of a show where the main character is in a very similar mindset to Saitama. And I mean, what to say of shows like that just don't have characters who enjoy fighting, you know, like, regardless of their level of depression. Like, Rurouni Kenshin is one of the biggest shonen manga of all time. It's about a 28-year-old man who used to be a murderer, trying to atone for his sins, who does not even draw his sword unless he has to, and definitely does not kill anybody, unless he is absolutely forced into that position by the sheer magnitude of what the enemy is going to do, and he will not be happy if he has to do it, you know? Like, that is exactly, like, he's even less enjoying it than One Punch Man. Like, the main reason that Saitama doesn't enjoy these fights is that he doesn't get enough of a challenge. He wants to fight. Like, that whole point of that dream sequence in the first episode is that he wants to have a challenge. He wants to be a big damn hero who fucking, it's not about saving the day, it's about getting to experience the catharsis of the battle. He's depressed because he, you know, he doesn't have any edging. He just nuts in one go and is left with is left with nothing afterwards. Like, he's not meant to be really even a like a very magnanimous character. Like, he's kind of an asshole. He's kind of selfish and self-serving. His depression is out of the fact that he can't get what he wants, you know? And there are plenty of shonen heroes who have much better reasons to be in the depressive state that they are in. You know, and like, he goes on a lot about this idea that, like, that Saitama is out of place and that this is somehow a distinctive feature, even though tons of shonen protagonists' entire arc is about the fact that they don't fit in. Naruto, the whole point of his character is that he's a brat who, because he has this nine-tailed demon inside of him, and no parents, has never learned how to act properly, and also is kind of shunned by the adults because they fear him, or they revile him because that spirit, you know, did so much damage to the village before. So, like, he's a complete outcast, and he is depressed at the start of the series, you know? It's like, he wants to get stronger so that he can, you know, like, combat that, but I would not say that he is a happy character by any stretch, you know? What about Soul Eater, where all the characters are very moody all the time, dealing with different emotional issues? Some of those characters are definitely depressed. Would you say that the main character in Blue Exorcist is like a happy-go-lucky guy? His life is shit. His dad dies at the start of the series. He's mostly acting out of, you know, just a sense of vengeance, and he's definitely an outcast in society. What about, you know, I could go on and on. Like, there's plenty of characters who have exhibited these traits throughout shonen history. Again, The reason that I have such a problem with people talking about shonen tropes being subverted and deconstructed is that you can't you can't call something a deconstruction when you don't know what it's deconstructing. You don't actually understand the medium being deconstructed. Evangelion being a deconstruction of mecha, which I would even say is, you could argue it's not even that much of a deconstruction, because how many ideas does it really present that weren't present in real robot shows up to that point? Is there really anything that Eva has to say that is so unique from Gundam or Ideon or any of the other shit that it's, cribbing from, that makes it more of a deconstruction than other things? You can make the argument either way, but like, the purpose of deconstruction is to literally take something, take it apart, dismantle it, put it back together wrong, essentially. Show why this thing doesn't work in reality. Why, like the Watchmen being the example most people come to. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into deconstruction because I know that the actual philosophical meaning of it goes way beyond the way that it's even talked about in media analysis. Like, honestly, I wish everybody would just stop using the word, because clearly, like, none of us have read, who was it? Who the fuck was the guy? That French fucking bastard with the really really difficult to read language, who came up with deconstruction. As far as I can tell, what he meant by it is not what anybody has interpreted it as. I think most of us just think of deconstruction as the thing we were told Watchmen was, and therefore anything like proximity to Watchmen is what we think of as deconstruction. But at least that's how I've always felt. But I would rather we just retired talking about it, and even talking about, like, ooh, this is so subversive. It's like, it's only subversive if it is, bucking an absolute trend. And, like, subversion is a constant in all media in the modern age. Like, we are living in the post-irony era. Everything is subversive. So, whatever.